So with this program, we're going to look at email protocols. Our time is valuable, so listed below are a few common sense guidelines on more effective ways to manage your emails. Now we know from research the volume of emails in the last 4 years has doubled, and all indications are it's going to increase by about 20 to 25% per year for the next 2 or 3 years. So if you think you've got a lot of emails now and your inbox is overloaded, then the chances are in 2 years' time you're probably going to have 50% more. So we need to try and make sense, put in place some common sense guidelines and better practices on how and when to use email. So first ask yourself if email is the right communication medium for this. Or should I pick up the phone or schedule a meeting? About 70% of communication between human beings is visual, 15% is tonality, and 15% of the words that you use. Over-reliance on email as a communication medium will slow you down and slow other people down. So number one, get to the point. Do not make an email longer than it needs to be. Reading an email is harder than reading hard copy printed communication, and a long email can be very discouraging to read. Try to keep your sentences to a maximum of 15 to 20 words. Email is meant to be a quick medium and requires a different kind of writing than letters require. Use proper structure and layout. Use short paragraphs and blank lines between each paragraph. When making points, number them or mark each point as separate to keep the overview. Use the CC field properly. CC emails are considered interruption when people are extremely busy. Try not to use the CC field unless the recipient in the CC field knows why they are receiving a copy of the message. For your own purposes, set up a rule for incoming emails, so any emails where you're in the CC field go directly to a subfolder of your inbox called CC. Just be aware here that if you do set up this rule, which is actually a very good idea, not everybody uses it the right way. So you've got to decide whether it works for you or not. But it's a very good way of filtering emails so not everything lands in your inbox or on your electronic desk, as we often call it. Do not overuse reply to all. Only use reply to all if you really need your message to be seen by each person who received the original message. Otherwise, select only the relevant recipients. Answer all questions and preempt further questions. An email reply should seek to answer all questions and preempt further questions. If you do not answer all the questions in the original email, you'll receive further emails regarding the unanswered questions, which will not only waste your time and other people's time, but also cause considerable frustration. Do not request delivery and read receipts. This will almost always annoy your recipient before he or she has even read your message. If you want to know whether an email was received, it's better to ask the recipient directly for a response. Most people will click no, so it defeats the purpose anyway. Our experience with read receipts and delivery receipts is it just frustrates people. And through the programs that we've run, people say, no, don't like them, don't want to answer them, it probably doesn't work for you anyway. Use your out-of-office auto-reply. If you're not going to access your email account for a few days, put your out-of-office auto-reply on. The sender will know when they're likely to receive a response. So if you go away for a few days or you are away, it's quite useful to put that on. Otherwise, recipients get a little bit frustrated because they haven't got a reply and they're not sure why. Proper spelling, grammar and punctuation. Proper use of spelling, grammar and punctuation is important in conveying a message properly and sets the tone for your response to other people. Emails with no full stops or commas are difficult to read and may even change the meaning of the text. Outlook has an automatic spell check option, so we suggest you do use it. Answer swiftly if you can. People generally send an email because they wish to receive a quick response. Therefore, each email should be replied to within 48 hours and preferably within the same working day if possible. If the email is complicated, reply to the extender to acknowledge that you've received it and that you'll get back to them in an appropriate amount of time, and be courteous. Do not attach unnecessary files. Most organizations have storage limits on individual email accounts. Please consider the recipient. An option is to consider using hyperlinks to files where possibly internally. A hyperlink file is where both of the people accessing that email, the sender and recipient, are able to see files on a particular server and access it, and you can just send them a link which automatically goes to that attachment, so they don't have to send it via email. Do not overuse the high priority option. In most cases, I suggest you don't use this. Recipients don't tend to respond to priority options the way the sender intends it to be. So it probably will work against you. Don't leave out the message thread. When you reply to an email, include the original email in your reply if it contains relevant information and it's not too long. In other words, click reply instead of a new mail. Leaving the thread might take a fraction longer in download time, but it will save the recipient much more time and frustration when trying to interpret and respond to the email. They'll be able to get the full context and all the information they need. Read the email before you send it. Take the time to reread your email through the eyes of the recipient. This will help you to avoid spelling and grammar mistakes, send a more effective message, and avoid misunderstandings and inappropriate comments. And think before you print. Certainly consider our environment before you print. Reduce the amount of paper that's being purchased and being printed upon. BlackBerries and iPhones. If the recipient is reading your email on a handheld device, these screens are often small to make your message clear and easy to read. And thank you for watching.